Great. So I'm joined by Nico. Again, thanks, Nico, for joining us. What we're going to talk about here is just what is the difference between an internal product and an external product. So lots of people that become a product manager will join an organization, and depending on what part of the organization you're in, you might be asked to look at an external product that your external users, your paying customers have, or it could be about working with internal customers. So Nico, just wonder if you can give me some examples of some either internal or external products that you've worked on, and how you might have to operate differently working on both.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this is really fascinating. I think some of the best things that I've ever worked on have been internal products. So one of them was years ago, back at a large broadcaster, and they were implementing push notifications for the first time, and we had to build solve a problem rather, where the editorial team had to be able to send notifications concurrently to various different channels. So it was not only push, it was push, email, SMS, and email. And the best thing about building an internal product is that you've got your customers right next to you. You don't have to go and figure out who they are. They're there sat in the building, or usually in the same building, or they're in the same company. And you can get that feedback really rapidly. So I think for a junior product manager, or kind of someone who's kind of growing in their career, working on internal products can be sometimes a safe, kind of relatively safe zone, and you can achieve like really great things, and you get that buzz of building something great for your colleagues and solving internal problems, which are just as important as solving things for end consumers. Sometimes building things for end consumers, say that same example, if it was a reader of or someone who's watching video produced by that broadcaster on a streaming platform, for instance, that's a much harder problem to solve, because you've got different personas in that customer base. You've got to kind of segment that audience, understand the different needs of those different personas, understand exactly who you're solving problems for. And it can be it can be slower sometimes to develop things, because you've got to take a bit more time and care in how you go and if you're doing something greenfield, that's obviously a big problem anyway, or a big challenge rather. But even if you're building and iterating on an existing product for a company that has a large audience base, for instance, large customer base, you're going to want to do lots of testing, A/B testing, either on your front end product or kind of user research. And in my experience, the projects I've worked on, products I've worked on, that's been my takeaway.
Yeah, it's been interesting, isn't it? Because I've worked in one or two places where some of the product managers that are working on internal products, for example, a platform, right? So even if someone's doing, a re-platforming, God have mercy. They're moving to AWS seems to be the classic, doesn't it, at the moment? And they somehow feel they're a second-class sort of product manager because they're working on an internal product. And I always say to them, well, what a ridiculous attitude, because without a platform or without this internal product, you wouldn't be able to have an external product. There wouldn't be a company. So, I think, surely, I don't know how you feel, but I think it's really about time that we got over that hang up, and we just started to see that product management really is about understanding the problem that someone is trying to solve. And there is a huge amount of honor in solving that problem, regardless of whether it's something that the general public, the paying consumer, sees, or whether it's something which is, a vital part of the business machinery.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the example you gave there, a platform product, for instance. So, maybe it's an internal payment system, or it's a membership platform, or something like that. They're integral. They're almost some of the crown jewels of the company.
Right.
And there's huge amount of honor to be gained and value to be delivered by working on those things. It's just that the customers, again, have to be really close. Invariably, they're internal developers at that company, who, again, you can do a great job for, really improve the performance of the internal teams, give them all the products and services they need to be able to build great products for their customers, who are then, some of those end consumers So yeah, absolutely, it's a vital and really interesting role to have, is to work as a product manager on a platform.
Yeah, great. Nico, thanks again just for giving us your thoughts on the difference between an internal and external product. Thanks.
No worries. Thank you.
Cheers.